Pew, 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 pew. Welcome to Welcome to this episode of Cheema Connect, special anniversary episode of Cheema Connect. My name is Jamie, your host, aka JTP. I'm joined by your friend and mine, CEO and Presidente of Cheema Solutions Driven, Harmon Cheema. Harmon, how are you doing? Special day?
I am doing great.
You're doing great.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it.
You look like you've gotten stronger and smaller at the same time. How's that possible? What's your secret?
Oh, 100 pull-ups, 100 push-ups a day, go run 4 or 5 miles.
Hold that thought. Let me take some notes here. 100 push-ups, pull-ups. Got it. All right, cool. You look amazing, by the way.
Yep. Thank you.
How you feeling?
I'm doing
early,
great.
Still early. We're still spring 2026.
That's right. That's right.
We've been fighting the good fight. It's been a trucking recession of sorts, but tell me where we're at today. It feels like we're on location and not our normal spot.
Yeah, we are actually at the terminal here in Lathrop, California.
Okay.
We got to see a lot of great drivers today. A lot of drivers coming through. It's Cheema's 20-year anniversary.
Happy anniversary, Cheema Freight Lines.
I can't believe my dad and I started this 20 years ago. I can't believe we hauled our first load 20 years ago. That's pretty wild.
20 years ago. You don't even look like you're 20 years old. How's that even possible? How's that even possible?
Got to eat really good.
It's the push-ups and the pull-ups. It's the push-ups and the pull-ups. Hey, before we go on, I want to remind our followers to like and subscribe. Stay connected to Cheema, aka Cheema Connect. Click the buttons. Make sure you get all the new content coming your way. When we're celebrating something special, when we're hanging out with our drivers, when we're updating our team on all things going on with Cheema Solutions Driven, we want you to be a part of it. We want you to be current. So stay connected in that way. So here we are at Cheema's 20-year anniversary, as we mentioned. I'm joined by Harmon. We've had drivers come through. We have vendors. Platform Science is here. Gordon Truck Centers is here. We're going to hear from some of our reps from both of those vendors here in a little bit. But we're celebrating. We're celebrating 20 years of Cheema. We're feeding lunch to the people that are passing through. We got these beautiful T-shirts. We've got 20 years on the sleeve.
I got to pick mine up.
We got a beautiful graphic on back. Everybody's getting a free T-shirt. They're getting a free hat. They got the 20-year logo on the side. We want to celebrate because we worked really hard to get to this point. And so I kind of want to take a moment to kind of flash back. I want to play a game with you, Harmon, if you're willing. You willing to play a game with me?
When are you not playing games?
I'm always playing games. You know me too well. I want to play a game, and I'm going to call it Do You Remember?
All right.
Do you remember or do you remember when?
Oh my God, all right.
I'm going to throw some things your way from Cheema history, and I'm just going to ask you just to reflect on them. And if you like, you could just laugh, or you could expand upon that idea and that memory, or you could be like, next.
All right, let's do it.
Let's do this. Do you remember when you were a kid going out on a ride with Dad in his big semi-truck?
Yes.
Going out on a ride along.
I do remember.
What's that little version of Harmon Cheema look like? What's he feeling?
Just sitting there in the passenger seat, looking at all the trucks, the trailers passing by, have my trucker hat on. If my brother was with us, I'd tell him he can ride in the front on the way back. I usually never let him do that on the way back either. I was kind of a bully. Yeah, that's all right.
He's nearby. Don't tell him.
He'll say I'm still a bully sometimes. It's possible.
Big brother.
Yeah.
Got big brother rights.
Yeah, that's what I remember.
Yeah.
Also remember my dad taking us out on the weekends, right? He'd have a load on Saturday or whatever, and we'd go, and we were always trying to go with him on the weekend because maybe that day he'll get us some fast food.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, we lived in Washington at the time, and so when we'd go to Oregon, because he'd have a post office load, a USPS load or something to Salem or Portland, I don't know, wherever. Like, Carl's Jr. was out there, so I was like, yeah, might be able to get a Carl's Jr. this time, It's just little things like that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that. I remember being a kid and loving going out to eat.
Yep.
Right? Getting that fast food, sitting down with the fam or whatever. We were actually talking about that, like family trips, and just places we would frequent and dine out. All right. Do you remember when you booked your first load?
I do. Yes.
Okay.
What do you want to know?
I want to know more details. How old were you?
Oh, okay. All right. So I booked my first load around today, 20 years ago, roughly, right? Somewhere around here. Maybe today, maybe a couple days from now, whatever. 20 years ago. And it was a load from Seattle to, I want to say, Southern California. I had a couple stops on it. It was a dry load. The broker was Stone Path Logistics. I don't know if they're still around. I remember that. And I think it was like a like a household goods load, maybe. Like it was just a bunch of crap. You know, we took, I think it was 2 stops, one in Northern California, one in Southern California. And then the second load was, you didn't ask me, but I'm going to tell you.
You tell me.
The
What
second
was your second
load,
load? Do you remember your second load?
the second load was a load of watermelons coming out of like way south, Southern California, down almost by the Mexican border, you know, Calexico or Mexicali or somewhere down there.
Okay.
I don't know the exact city, but somewhere down there was a load of watermelons coming back up to the Seattle market.
Nice.
And then my dad hauled that up.
Nice little loop.
Yeah. That was the first loop. I remember that.
Get your head haul and your back haul.
Yep.
Well done.
I don't know what I paid. Don't ask.
And again, did you say how old you were for the audience at home?
I was
Ish.
I was 15.
Still in school.
Yes.
Still a little student.
Yep. It was April of 2006, so I was 15 years old.
All right. Do you remember when you realized that this one truck could take off and become something bigger? Like, do you remember when the moment hit you? Whether it was one truck, whether it was 50 trucks, 120 trucks. Do you remember when you started getting the vision that this thing could grow into something special?
Well, when I graduated high school, that was in 2008, we were up to 13 trucks. I think it was 6 company drivers, maybe 7 owner-operators, or 7 company drivers and 6 owner-operators, something like that. But we were up to 13 trucks when I graduated high school in 2008. And so from there, I was like, okay, can make some money. I like money. Like the hustle. Like booking freight, like the hustle. Like getting to know everything about everything I can. That's how I roll. And I decided, hey, we could turn this into a legitimate company. It could be, I don't know, 50 trucks, 25 trucks, maybe 100. Didn't really think about it too much, but
Just
that
the
was
next couple goals.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was it. That's how it started.
Yeah.
I know we did a podcast that we're gonna release here soon about kind of my journey, right? A little bit more in detail. So look out for that. It's coming out here in the next couple of days.
Do you remember the Ripon, California terminal?
I do remember the Ripon,
You have
California.
some memories from Ripon, California.
Oh, lots of them. We were there for almost 10 years, I think. We had a 5-year lease. So before that terminal, we were at this little house, and then we were renting some yard space. Actually, here on the same property in Lathrop, we were renting like 25, 30 spots from the old landlord. And we then released the Ripon terminal, and it was like 2.8 acres or something like that. And we thought, okay. I remember standing there in the middle of the yard. It's empty at this point. I'm going, okay. Like, we got plenty of space. Like, this is going to last us so long.
We're never going to outgrow this.
Yeah, this is
Never.
great. And in like 3 years, we're like, oh, crap, this is not enough space. This is not enough space. We need some more space. So that was cool. Yeah, I remember that very fondly.
Ripon, California. So when I joined in 2017, I've been here a little over 9 years now. That's where we're at. We had the terminal in Ripon, California. Got to meet Chris. Chris has been here a little longer than I have, Chris Redding. And the team we had down there are awesome, taking care of drivers. But we were still cutting our teeth. You know, we were probably just crested 100 drivers at that point in time.
Yep.
And do you remember when you decided it was time to think northward and you decided to venture up to Coburg, Oregon?
Yeah, so I left to Coburg, Oregon, which is by Eugene, Oregon, I lived in Eugene for about 1.5 years, which is where I kind of found my love for the Oregon Ducks.
Oh, so why'd you have to include that?
That's
Huskies.
not why the trucks are green.
Yeah.
We had already picked that before then. But they had some cool outfits and jerseys. Oregon's got some cool gear. But, you know, I was there. I just turned 21. It was a great university town. Mm-hmm. We had leased a spot in Coburg, Oregon, which was the next city over. Like 3 or 4 of us were staying. We had kind of like a bachelor pad in a way.
Okay.
And it was me, it was my friend Pardeep, and our other guy Jim.
Shout out to Pardeep.
Yep, Jim Funch, who's
Jim
still
Funch.
with us.
Shout out.
Yep, he's probably one of our longest tenure employees, or contractors, employees, whatever. He's in our brokerage right now. But he's one of our long-term teammates. So shout out to Jim Funch. He's still with us, moving produce loads on the brokerage side of the business. And so we had rented a 3-bedroom apartment. So It was truly like the Bachelor.
Bachelor pad.
Yeah, it was pretty fun. We had a great time. We'd work hard. Oh man, those are some good memories. We'd work hard Monday through Friday, and we'd party hard Friday night and Saturday night, enough to where, you know, all the bouncers, everybody at the they were in the clubs. It was like bars, college bars.
Sure.
Everybody knew us, and we'd go in, just not get shit faced, but we'd have a great time.
Good.
So it was a good time.
Make some memories.
And-
You're young. You're
yeah.
21.
And then we'd go back and truck.
Uh-huh.
We'd go truck. So, but we were there, man. It was a good time.
And then from
Man, you're really
Coburg-
taking me down memory lane here.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
I'm taking you on a trip of sorts.
Yeah, I like
Do
it.
you remember when you decided to go from Coburg and then continue your trip northward to?
Yeah, so actually,
Pure
I
Washington.
went to Coburg in 2011, and then I decided it was we're like in the midst of the recession, like we were like in the thick of it, like it was right there, and things were tight, freight wasn't moving. We were like 30, 40 trucks at the time, and so I decided to pull the plug, move back to California. That's what I
Wow.
did, and then I moved back up later.
Okay.
Yeah, in 2015, moved to Washington again. Now, I grew up in Washington State in the beginning, but moved to California in 06. And then before that, I've lived all over the place. It doesn't matter at this point.
You have.
Yeah.
You truly have. And in doing so, you brought a whole bunch of talent on. You get
We did.
to the Northwest.
Yeah, including
and there was
Mr. Jamie Phillip right
a
here.
huge influx of talent.
Yep.
That's right. Do you remember when we transitioned our fleet from white to green?
I do.
That
It was
beautiful
the
jade.
first
metallic-
green trucks. I think we'd got 6 or 8 trucks, and they were 2018 model trucks. So, yeah, I think it was 6 or 8 trucks. I want to say it was 8, maybe it was 6. I don't know. But I do remember that because I was like, I really wanted a green truck because we'd always had white trucks with green decals, white trailers with green decals. And I was like, my marketing, I was always a marketing guy, right? In my head, like I'm a sales and marketing guy by heart. And so I was like, it's time to go green, baby. And we're going to go green all the way. And we're going to take over the world. Remember, I used to say, and I still say, world domination.
That was the West Coast.
West Coast domination. That's what
right.
I said. But now I guess I moved on to the world domination.
Yeah,
so
West
maybe we're going to the world. Let's see.
Look out, world.
Yeah.
Here we come. That's pretty significant transition right there.
Thank you.
Pretty significant.
Yeah,
I can
It was
remember.
great. I loved it.
I can remember the trucks 1111.
Yep.
On the 12. I can remember the
Yep.
drivers. I can see their faces.
Yep. 11, 11,
See
11,
Tom,
12.
See
Yep.
Doy.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
See Amandeep. What's up,
Yep.
Amandeep? Good guys, man. Do you remember when we converted from AOBRD to ELD?
Oh, that was the PeopleNet days.
Oh, yeah. Do you remember?
Oh, that was the
Do you
ELDs.
remember?
ELD sucked. Yeah, I don't want to remember that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, skip.
It was painful.
Skip.
But the thing to keep in mind is there's all these significant chapters and benchmarks that a carrier like Cheema goes through to survive in an industry like trucking
Yep.
for 20 years. And most recently, a lot of that has been centered around technology. People, and right behind that technology.
Yep.
So do you remember our trip to Minnesota? Do
Oh,
you remember
yeah.
our trip to Minnesota?
To PeopleNet.
To a PeopleNet users
Yeah, I do.
conference, right?
I do.
That was when I
I
was
thought
still
I was going to
greenish.
die that night.
You thought you were going to die?
Yeah.
Why did you think you were going to die? What was the story behind that?
Okay, so Jamie had just come on not too long before that.
Sure.
Right? I don't know how long you were
It was
there.
our first work trip together.
Yeah, it was our first work trip. We're going to PeopleNet headquarters in Minnetonka. Remember that?
Mhm.
So we landed in Minnesota or Mississippi. I'm sorry. Whoa. We landed in
St.
Minneapolis.
Paul. Minneapolis,
Yeah,
St. Paul.
Minneapolis. And we're on the way to Minnetonka. And we get to Minnetonka. We're in a Uber or cab or something. And when we get there, I reach for my pocket to pay for the cab. It was a cab. To pay for the cab, I think. And I'm like, uh-oh, where's my wallet? And I was like, uh-oh. So I think you paid for it.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't even have your company card yet. You really didn't even know me well yet. You just you just came on like a month or two before that. And so
And I'm picking up this guy's hotel.
yeah, so
Go figure.
So then we get there, we get to PeopleNet, or we get to the hotel, and I'm like, well, crap. And so they're like, you need an ID to check in. So I was like, okay, well, I'll call Alaska Airlines, and hopefully they'll find my wallet. We'll figure it out, right? My concern was in my head was, well, how am I going to get back home without an ID after? And then the immediate concern was, can I get checked into my hotel? Because at this point, it's like 10:30 at night. It's pretty late. It's like 10 or 10 p.m., 10:30.
We had a conference the next morning.
We had a conference the next morning. We were supposed to get up at like 7 or 6 and be there at 8 or 7:30 or something like that. It was pretty early. And so I had we tried check in. You got checked in because you had your ID. Hotels were prepaid, so we're okay there, right? And I was like, "Yo, Jamie, can I use your credit card for my hotel?" And you were like, "Cool with it," but they still wouldn't let me check in because I didn't have my photo ID. I'm like, "Yo, here's my business card." You know, they're like, "Nope, you gotta have your ID." So I'm like, "Well, shoot." So then, I was like, "Well, what do we do?" So then I think we ordered like a pizza or something. And I'm kind of in like solution-driven mode in my head, trying to figure out what to do.
You're grinding.
So I call Alaska Airlines and I get connected to somebody in Seattle, and they're like, "Okay, stay on the line" or something like that, or call back, or I'll call you back, something like that. And 30, 40 minutes later, I'm being on the line or getting a call back. I can't remember exactly. They say, "Hey, we found your wallet." Remember that?
I do.
And at this point, it's like probably,
I was surprised.
yeah, it's probably like 11:30 at this point, right? And so I'm like, okay. They said, but the next flight isn't out until 5 in the morning or 5:30 or like 6 a.m. So like they said the what you call it, the counter is gonna open at like 4:30 or 5 in the morning or something like that. And so I was like, okay, so I can't get checked in. Asked Jamie for his credit card. He was down with it. I'm not gonna ask him to scoot over on the bed. So I said, hey, tell you what, I'll just go to the airport and I'll go hang out, in front of the counter until they open. And I was like, Jamie, go to sleep. I'll see you in the morning. And so then I go out and we are. I go there. I remember I like knocked out for 30 minutes or whatever, and we are. I'm waiting for the counter. I think you went to sleep. Oh, okay. So on the way there, this is where I thought I was gonna die.
hoping you'd have
Okay. There we go. So Uber was kind of new at the time, so I have my Uber app on my phone because I still have my phone, and I call an Uber. And by the way, it's a blizzard outside.
Yeah,
remember that?
I was gonna say it was like -4 degrees.
It was like a blizzard outside. Like it's snowing
Typical
hard.
Minnesota weather.
Yep. And so
In
blizzard for
January.
us West Coasters, I guess. But yeah, we're there, and I get this Uber guy comes up, and he's in a PT Cruiser, and this guy rolls up in the front, and he's like, and he like pulls up, and he stops, and he like slides, right? Because like it's
cold out.
yeah, it's cold and
slick.
slippery. So I'm like, okay, open the door, and this guy's got like a colorful mohawk, spikes on his leather jacket, and the car smells really fresh like Febreze. And I was like, okay, all right. So I get in.
What are my options?
Yeah, so I get in. I was like, okay, whatever. I get in, and he just like pulls around the driveway, pulls up to the front. He's like, whatever. Like, he's kind of cool guy, but he's like, I was like, yo, hey, like, you guys don't use like chains out here? And he's like, no, we don't use chains out here, bro. And I was like, well, shoot, okay. And then he
I
just
trust you. You're a professional driver.
He's like, don't
Uber
worry,
guy.
man. It's all good. This is dry snow out here. I'm like, all right. He's actually a pretty cool guy. I was pretty scared, but he was pretty cool. He told me about, Super Bowl's coming to the Viking Stadium.
Oh, wow.
Like the next year or the year after. He's like, oh, yeah, there are Viking stadiums over here, and they're developing this over here on the way. So, I mean, he kept it interesting. I thought I was going to die, but it was cool.
Mind you, it's like, what, 4 in the morning or something like that.
This
3?
is probably 2:30. I don't know. It's probably like 11, midnight. It's probably midnight.
Yeah.
It's probably midnight at this point. Maybe 1 a.m. I don't know. But yeah, it's pretty late.
Past
And-
my bedtime.
Yeah, I told you to knock out.
Yeah.
And so, anyways, I get my wallet at like 4:30 in the morning. Catch a cab or an Uber, make it back. I remember sleeping. I think I would have bed at 5 or 5:30 in the morning, and I remember going to sleep. I remember sleeping an hour and a half that night. Hour and a half that whole time, and then I get up. And I'm like, what's up, Jamie? Right there with you, all dressed up, ready to go. And we go to the conference, and I'm like, hey, I'm wide awake. I don't have a problem. And then when we got back, I'm like, Jamie, I'm crashing, dude.
You hit a wall.
Yeah.
You hit hard.
I was like, holy cow, I'm like dying right now. So, but yeah, that was our first company trip together, and that was our first trip to PeopleNet in Minnetonka.
So I'll add another little detail. One thing that you glossed over is when we got into my hotel room, you had to wait for 2 different checkpoints. I think you had to wait so that you could call to confirm they actually had your wallet, because they had to
Right.
wait for the crew to go clean the plane.
That's right.
And then they said, okay, we found your thing at the first checkpoint where you're waiting for. They had to put it in a safe, and then you had to wait for the morning staff to come in to actually get into the safe to let you have it. So we ordered pizza, like you said.
Yep.
And what I wanted to make sure was included in that story too was we spent like an hour and a half waiting for that next time for you to call to find out if they even had your wallet. And we just got to know each other, man.
Yeah, it was
Like,
good times.
I was pegging you with questions. It's kind of like early era Cheema Connect. Like, I
Sounds
was
like you're doing that to me right now.
I know. I felt like I was getting to know Cheema a little bit, which those opportunities, you can.
Everything happens for a reason.
Everything
man.
happens for a reason.
Yep.
And that's a great example of that. And and again, I crashed out, and I was like, I'm not going to see that guy till lunch, if that.
Yeah.
And he was there right at the beginning of the session, and I was like, how are you doing this? You're a robot.
Yeah. So thankfully, we're past the people net days. We're past that era of technology in general, and now we're with platform science.
Absolutely.
Yeah. We actually have platform science here.
Platform science is on scene. And you know what? They're here voluntarily. They're here because they wanted to provide ice cream to our drivers. They wanted to engage with our drivers that'd be passing through here today, and they also brought some swag to share out. And more importantly, they wanted to get some driver feedback to continue to refine their product and take it back to their developers. So let's go ahead and segue into introducing the team. I got Austin and Holly here, and I think they're going to be joining us for a quick session. So let's jump right to it.
All right. Well, Austin, who's coming up? Austin?
Yeah.
All right.
Austin Harness, Platform Science. My name is Jamie Phillip, and I'm joined now by my good friend and your soon-to-be new friend, Austin Harness from Platform Science. Austin, thanks for joining the program.
Thank you for having me here, Jamie.
Welcome to Cheema Connect, and welcome to our 20-year anniversary celebration. Thanks for being a part of it.
Yeah.
What brings you here today?
Long-time caller, first-time listener, but
thanks for joining the program.
no, it's been great. We heard we all were celebrating 20 years.
20 years.
Heard that, and we wanted to be a part of it. While we are relatively recent within the past few years with your relationship, we have absolutely loved being a partner with you, a collaborative partner. And just by seeing the family environment here and how y'all work as one team really has resonated with us at Platform Science. So it's been great to get here, celebrate your success, and see where y'all are going and be part of it moving forward.
It's been an exciting journey, and no hard work should not be celebrated. And so that's one thing. I appreciate that you recognize that it is a family-owned and operated company, and at the end of the day, it's all about the people.
Absolutely.
The people that you do the work with day in and day out. Granted, our business is picking up and delivering freight on time and doing it safely. In order to do that, we need to have the right tools. We need to have the right equipment, trucks included. But some of that equipment includes your product, which is the ELD tablet, which is a platform that not only allows us to manage our hours of service and have visibility of where a driver is at with their countdown clocks on any given day, on any given cycle duty, but it also allows us to add, as a carrier, as a customer of yours, to add what apps we think are most advantageous for our driving fleet to have access to. Things like the CAT-Scale app and transfo scanning. Tell us what makes Platform Science a little bit different than some of the other ELDs out there on the market.
So I think that what differentiates us is the fact that we are driver-centric, much like Cheema is, and that's what's definitely strengthened our relationship here. Additionally is the fact that we are native on most Cascadia trucks out there to these days. So
what's native mean to the layperson?
To the layperson, that means that no installation necessary. They come in, connect their tablet, they're good to go on the road. No more plugging in wires, connecting anything. As long as they have their tablet connected to our truck with no external aftermarket connections, they're good to go. And we're seeing even further relationships grow with other OEMs that can't really talk to at this moment, but there's some great and exciting opportunities that we're excited to unveil this year.
Very good. Well, one thing I will tell you that I've certainly appreciated as we've become a growing customer of Platform Science, our last ELD provider was a little bit rigid in the types of things we could do with it. There's certain customizations. You want a macro, we can build that. You want to send in your loaded calls and empty calls. There's certain functionality within DVIR, but when you want to add access to different portals and websites and applications, third-party applications, that became cumbersome pretty quick. But Platform Science is different in how they decide to make what is available on the tablet up to the carrier.
That's true. We pride ourselves in being solution agnostic. We have our own homegrown opportunities, but we thrive on the ability for customers to come in and plug in what fits them best. Because you look at it and all of our customers are different. Each one's kind of like they're different shade, each of them, and everybody needs the specific build out for them. And we kind of appreciate that at Platform Science, that there's not a one-size-fits-all when it comes to each trucking company. Everybody operates differently, and they're going to need different solutions. And we're here to just create that platform to allow you to succeed and have everything connected in one spot.
Nice. And so far to date, some of the applications that we've put on the tablet include, obviously we have a DVIR app, we have form messages, some people call them macros, but on the tablet we call them form messages, which are kind of like fill in the blank messages to request time off, to get vacation balance, report incidents like accidents and whatnot. There are applications like CAT Scale app, like trucker path navigation,
Absolutely.
like TransFlow scanning solution. I'm sure I'm missing a couple of them.
Relay.
Relay is, oh my gosh, and thank you, by the way, Relay. Quick little plug, and thank you so much, Austin. A recent integration partner has been Relay, and that is our electronic cardless system in order to pay for both fuel, lumpers, and CAT scales. So it's been a phenomenal resource, and that is recent as of like September last year, so about Driver Appreciation Week time last year, and that was it's been a successful relationship so far. And Relay, thank you for donating swag for our event. We've got some tumblers out there and some hats out there and some bags.
Yes.
And thank you, Platform Science, as well, for bringing some swag that we can give out to our team.
Yeah.
But that's just another great example, right?
Yep.
Of other partnerships that are happening. And so how does one, if you are an application, if you are wanting to get integrated, you guys have a marketplace of sorts, right?
Exactly.
And in this marketplace, I liken it to like the Google Play Store or your App
Absolutely.
Store on your phone. So it's like, if they are in the Platform Science marketplace, they are an app that already has an existing integration relationship with Platform Science. Is that
Right.
correct?
Yeah, the marketplace is definitely what differentiates us between a lot of our other solutions out there. The fact that you can come to one-stop shop, and we already have an integration built up with multiple external partners. Much like I said before, we thrive on being vendor or solution agnostic. A lot of people you'll see are more vertically integrated, and we like to bring in other solutions and allow those that are experts in their specific area kind of thrive on our platform.
Nice. So to put a fine point on it, that work doesn't stop with the integrations you currently have. Right?
No.
So you're continuing to add more and more applications as other customers, carriers and whatnot, find value in adding those third-party applications to your marketplace profile. And
Absolutely. Absolutely.
and a great recent example of that is the Relay example. The good part about all that is it's driven by not only carrier feedback, but also driver feedback.
Exactly.
And so you're here today not only to lay sugar on everybody. You guys bought a food truck.
We
You
brought
guys
some ice cream to,
brought some-
sweeten everyone up.
Yeah, so you brought the dessert, and the drivers are loving it. I had some already, I confess, and it was amazing. It's called Rock and Roll, and it's like rolled ice cream, and you get this nice little serving. It's very generous, and you got 3 toppings to put on it. So thank you, Platform
Absolutely.
Science, for providing dessert today and bringing some swag. But that was just a means to an end so that you could do just that. Get driver feedback and input to continue to determine what's of value for
Yeah.
your marketplace, to make available to your customers, Cheema Freight Lines, to be used and available for our end user, you, the professional driver.
Absolutely. As soon as we got here, we already noticed that there were some drivers that just came up and started asking questions, and that's
Perfect.
literally what
That's
we're
our
here
team.
for. That's your team.
That's Team Cheema.
We want you to ask questions. We want driver feedback directly, and we want to. That's the best way we're going to improve our product for you. So much like Cheema's driver centric, we're driver centric, and we always request driver feedback to figure out how can we do better, how can we improve your experience. And maybe it's an improvement we need to make to our system. Maybe it's another vendor we need to bring on. Because much like you said, we scope out who we want to partner with based upon our fleets requesting it. Is it a solution? Is it a solution that has a problem that fleets have been experiencing associated with it?
Yeah, as an isolated type of event, or is it something we've seen
Exactly.
multiples of across carriers?
A lot of times we try to find solutions for you that aren't just solutions looking for a problem. There is maybe an existing bottleneck that needs to be solved, and that's where our marketplace team is so strategic and thrives on figuring out the best way to improve experience.
So drivers, if you weren't able to make it to this event, it's not too late. We can always take that feedback, talk to anybody in driver services. We'll get a summary of it and we'll escalate it to myself, to the team of Platform Science. We'll see what we can do to make your life easier, to give you the tools that you need to continue doing your job at the highest level. All right, thanks so much, Austin, for joining the program. Great to have you on. Now we're going to segue to invite another one of our wonderful, generous vendors to the table, Gordon Truck Centers, and I got Harmon hosting that interview.
All right, so with me today we have Todd Tracy from
Gordon Truck Centers. I'm Vice President of Equipment Sales for all of our 19 locations there in Oregon, Washington, Hawaii, and Alaska. And then we also have Redding, California, as well as Boise, Idaho.
So Todd is our Freightliner dealer, where we buy all of our Freightliners from for a long time now. We've been buying Freightliners since 2014, I think, 2015.
Yeah,
So almost 11, 12 years.
Yeah.
So we're thankful for the partnership. But
you.
Todd, I was going to say, this is Todd from Warner Truck Centers,
Yes.
but tell us how you got your start. Tell us a little bit about Todd.
Well, actually, I got started young. I was actually worked at the truck plant down in Portland. Was a material handler there for about 4 years, and then started working my way up through corporate, and ended up going to DT&A for 3 years, and then actually got my start down in Houston, and worked for the Houston Freightliner dealership down there, and then went up and started the used truck stuff over there at Warner Enterprises. Worked for the trucking company for a while, and then worked my way back into the Freightliner network and been there ever since.
Well, we're glad to have you. I know you guys are a great partner. Gordon Truck Centers, formerly Freightliner Northwest, and formerly Pacific Truck Centers for us, because that's where our relationship started in Coburg. So we're happy to have you there. But yeah, we're out here. It's Cheema's 20th anniversary, and Todd came down. We were talking about things are getting a little bit better in the freight industry a little bit. So we started talking, what's the future look like for Cheema? Is there more Freightliner trucks on the roadmap? So we're plotting that right now for what the next segment of Cheema's growth looks like.
Yeah, and hope that it's with Freightliner 100% and Gordon Truck Centers. And we'll definitely do our best to get you back into 100% Freightliners.
So tell me a little bit about if you have a message for the Cheema drivers and our relationship and everything you guys do for us from a Freightliner standpoint and a dealership standpoint. Now's your time, Todd. Tell us why, and anything you want to say to the Cheema drivers.
Well, I hope you love our product on the Freightliners. I'm excited to get you guys into the new Gen 5 Cascadia that's out and running down the road today, and looking forward to getting you into those here this next year, and definitely get with Harmon and tell them how much you want to be in Freightliners, and that's the other OEM you want to work with.
I told him he's got to work a little harder than that, so we'll see what happens. But Todd, tell us about yourself. What do you like to do for fun?
Actually, I'm love water sports. So,
nice.
So yeah, I like the lakes, and then if not, on the golf course. So we've we've gone on a golf trip here last year. I think it was last year, where we went to Bandon Dunes and had a phenomenal 3-day there on the Oregon coast, and definitely recommend. We'll have to do that again.
That was a great time. I think I came back with a jacked up shoulder because we swung so much. I swung so much because my score was really, really high. And so, but no, that was great. No, you guys have been great. Looking forward to getting some new trucks in here, and it's awesome. We're 20 years into this, and it's partners like yourself and all of our partners that make it possible for us to do what we do and keep moving for our drivers. Really, that's what it's all about. So. Todd, tell us about what's going on in the industry. What have you guys felt? Where are we coming out of? Tell us about the freight recession from the truck standpoint, from the dealership standpoint.
So on the dealership side of things, here this last year, because of CARB of last year, we weren't able to sell trucks for the first and second quarter of 2025, which hurt the dealerships quite a bit. Now that regulations have kind of loosened up, we're back selling trucks again, and it's going to take us a little while to get back up to full steam ahead, but we're definitely going in the right direction.
So what's up with these new engines that we were talking about, where a lot of companies might be pre-buying next year, and the new requirements for the new engines?
So we still have the GHG 27 that's coming out. That has not gone away. All the OEMs and manufacturers keep going down that path. And so this next year in 2027, you have to meet that emissions, and anywhere from Detroit to Cummins to PACCAR have to meet the NOx level of that .035.
So the trucks aren't clean enough yet.
They're not clean enough
Man.
yet, but they will be next year.
Holy
And then,
cow.
yeah. So it's definitely been difficult to navigate, but we're getting through it. And as everybody knows in the trucking industry, we have hurdles that we have to jump through every day and
Oh yeah.
every year.
Yeah, we're glad to be somewhat on the way out of this downturn. It was a crazy 3.5 years, and looking forward to better days ahead for all the truckers. So, thank you for being on here, saying a few things for our drivers, and appreciate the partnership.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Todd.
Appreciate it.
All right, Jamie, get back over here. Good stuff.
I got more questions. You kind of cut me off too early. I want to continue back with my game. You ready to play some more?
I thought we were done.
Not with me. You don't know me.
Oh
You
my
apparently
God.
don't know me at all. Okay, do you remember when COVID hit? Yep, I said it. Do you remember COVID?
I don't want to remember that.
You remember COVID?
I do.
Can you, now, I'm just going to pause real quick. 20 years, and how much have we seen in that time?
A lot.
We haven't even gotten to this current trucking recession. We had COVID before that, and all these different hurdles we've come through in 20 years. But tell me a little bit about COVID and what it's like to run a trucking company.
It was crazy times. Like, I remember so I was in Florida for 2 weeks, back to back, at 2 conferences. I think I had Food Shippers of America and I had TCA. They were back to back, but they were back to back weekends. And usually, conferences end on a Tuesday or whatever. And so I had 3 or 4 days in between. I'm like, well, what am I gonna do in Orlando for 3 or 4 days? So, you know me, trying to be as efficient and possible. So
Always.
So I decided I'm gonna fly to Chicago, halfway across the country, and visit some customers. Went up to Green Bay, visited some customers up there, and then I flew back to Florida, back to Orlando. And then when I got back to Orlando, that conference, second day of the conference or something, I remember, people were like, "Oh yeah, hey, did you hear about this outbreak or whatever?" And I'm like, "Oh, whatever. I'm not paying attention,
Sure.
And then the next day or a few hours later, "Oh, did you hear about this outbreak or whatever? It's coming to Washington." I'm like, "Washington? What?" Remember that? It was started in Kirkland, Washington or something. So that was my first first memory I remember about being introduced to COVID. And then I was like, okay, whatever, big deal. And so flew back home after the conference. Kind of business as usual, kind of a little weird. People were talking about it more and more. And then
Well, there was fear about not being able to travel between states and between.
yeah, so that stuff's starting to happen. And all of a sudden I hear, hey, we're going to start shutting the country down. Non-essential, essential, and then all the truckers are begging to be essential, which obviously were. We keep the country moving. All the drivers, all of a sudden, remember that drivers were our heroes. They still
100%
are.
hero pay.
But that's when drivers were the real heroes for the American public that has no idea what truckers do.
Gotta shine a little spotlight on
Everybody
them.
knew what truckers did then. So that was great. That was good times actually for truckers. Weird times, but good on that aspect of it. But so I remember going, oh my God, what are we going to do? There's no freight coming out of California because all the inbound non-essential stuff shut off, and all of our toilet paper freight was coming out of Oregon and it was coming out of Utah, and it was going bonkers. People were buying so much toilet paper. It was insane.
Buying it off the shelves.
Yep. And it was insane. And so, but there was no freight coming out of California, which is odd. So then our shippers were paying us to go run empty. They were paying us to come empty out of California to go pick up the toilet paper freight. But before that, I remember a day or two before, I'm like, man, what are we going to do? Are we going to have to shut the company down? Is this it? What does this mean? How do we keep going? I had so many thoughts going through my head. First time, not a new leader, but first time experiencing this in my leadership, right? And going, oh my God.
First pandemic for your carrier company.
Yeah, so I was like, oh my God, I don't know what's going to happen. I was already thinking in my head, what's the speech I'm going to tell my people? What's going on? And all of a sudden it slowed down for a couple of weeks and then it went gangbusters. It went so crazy. We were paying drivers for hero pay, additional 4 cents a mile to keep things moving. Customers were like, just get here when you can. It doesn't even matter when it's late.
Emergency hours of service, right?
Emergency hours of service. You can drive as long as you want, as long as it's essential load, and almost everything was essential.
Right.
It was nuts, man.
Toilet paper, medical supplies. They needed it. They're
Yep.
going through it.
Yep.
Drivers were able to
Vaccines.
get more miles, and we were able to give them bigger bonuses.
It was
in the
insane.
midst of a pandemic,
Yep.
which could have, like, initially thoughts of like fears of maybe having to close your doors
I was, yeah,
went
totally.
from that to
How many more trucks can we get? What
Yeah,
can we get?
exactly.
How can we get more drivers? All of the above. But it was so crazy. Like, that's the good part about it. And the bad part that we all just paid for, recently, and we're still kind of paying for on the end of it, but is it introduced everybody that had no idea about trucking. Whether it's immigrants from other countries or people that were sitting on their couch or
There's so much opportunity.
whatever. There's so much opportunity. Everybody's figuring out, going to YouTube, figuring out how do I buy a truck? How do I get a CDL? How do I get out there and make this money? It was that crazy. Whether it was a box truck or a van or a big semi truck, like, it was insane. And once that kind of ended, that was once that ended, people started going back to spending money on like experiences and those kind of things. And so then the freight kind of fell off. It fell off. And when the freight fell off, guess what? There's still an influx of all these trucks and all these drivers that had entered during the COVID market.
all this capacity.
Yeah, all this capacity. It was insane. Like, we call them the COVID carriers. There was companies that I knew that were 5 trucks that became 50 trucks. There was companies that I knew that were 25, 30 trucks that became 100, 150 trucks. Like, these guys I'm not going to say they had no business, but they had no business because they had no business and they had no idea on how to run a real trucking company. It was just, like, it was a fake time in a way. Like, it was just insane. Like, you could shut down today, pick up a load tomorrow. It didn't even matter. Like, it was so much freight. Like, our yards were full of freight.
Do you remember when you decided? Because we were born and bred on the West Coast, I-5 carrier, Arizona, include Arizona in that. Do you remember when you decided it's time to venture east? Let's open up this geography to include Western 11.
Yep. So we were starting to go into Utah and all that right before the pandemic, slightly. And then when it got so busy, we're like, screw it, roll it back in and just do what we do and just do a lot of it, right? So I remember doing that. Yeah. So I remember doing that. And then about 3 years ago, roughly, maybe 2023-ish, maybe 24, things were slow again, right? Obviously things are slow, too many trucks, that's what we talked about. So I was like, okay, well, this is a good opportunity for us. Now, we're the largest we've ever been at this point. We're almost 500 trucks, or we were 500 trucks. And I'm like, man, this is a lot of trucks to keep loaded all the time, every day, running primarily I-5, Phoenix, true West Coast, right? So 4 or 5 states. And it was hard to keep those trucks loaded in that freight environment that we just came out of. And so that's when we started venturing east a little bit. We started going more Utah, more Vegas, Idaho, Montana, New Mexico, Texas. Now we're sending a lot of trucks to Texas and other places as well. But that's when we started going, expanding our wings a little bit, right? And so that's when we started doing that. But it's been good. It's been a good adventure, and I don't think we're going to reel it back in now that freight's getting busy. We're just going to hopefully build, things great and get things back on track like they were, and focus on small growth, not small controllable growth, to lead us into this next cycle. So
Next question. Do you remember when...
that was a long answer.
That was a great answer. I was going to actually layer in a risk example. You play games ever? I know you're a busy man. You're always shredding.
What kind of games? I play games
You ever
every day.
play a game of global domination?
Yeah.
If you haven't, you should. It's called Risk. Have you ever played Risk? It's kind of a classic.
I take a risk every day.
You do?
Yeah.
In the Risk, you're like these little pieces, whether it's a little infantry person or a little cannon or whatever, army.
I'm going to ask you a question, Jamie. I'm going to turn this around on you.
Okay.
You ever been to a casino?
I have.
Okay. Whether you gamble or not, or you care or you don't, I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
But what's your favorite casino game?
It's got to be blackjack. Well, I used to play Spanish 21, which is like a derivative of blackjack. But yeah, blackjack.
What's my favorite?
Poker?
Roulette.
Roulette. You take a risk.
I'm a freaking risk taker.
Uh-huh.
I'm a risk taker. I play roulette.
Okay.
I don't win all the time, but when I do,
Yeah.
yeah, roulette's my game.
So what reminded me of the board game Risk is when you play and advance your little armies, you can balance out, like the end of your turn, you balance out where you want your people. And I think about that sometimes when I think about trucking, because you're like, okay, now we ventured into Western 11 and now we're going to fortify. So we're going to like shift like the volume of like where we have our trucks or our armies or whatever. So they're balanced out in our network now. And that's kind of what we've been doing. You know, we're, what's it called?
Sorry, I took you down the casino roulette path.
No, that's all right. Fortifying. That's the word, fortified. So, yeah, but then my next and I think my last question, I'm going to a summary here, is do you remember when, and this is very recent, Cheema was recognized by TCA as an elite fleet, both for 2025, 2026, and also had Driver of the Year Scott Lindsay up there on stage receiving
Absolutely.
a big
How
old
can I
check
forget
for
that?
20 grand.
How can I forget that? That was amazing.
20 years. So much has happened in 20 years. It blows my mind. How would you put it into words what these last 20 years have been like?
Oh man, Jamie, it's been amazing. 20 years, can't believe it. It feels like it was yesterday, but you know, it's great. I don't know. It's hard to put in words for sure, but it's amazing to see what we've all built. And that's the beauty of the whole thing, right? And the beauty of what we're able to do today, what we're able to do for our drivers and our employees. And our goal was simple, just make it a great place to work for people, right? And I feel like that's the same goal that we come back to do every day. And that's the beauty of the whole thing. And that's what I'm most proud of.
You were wanting to share a story. You remember what that story was?
Yeah. So I was at a conference a couple of weeks back, and you know, we started out with just one truck. Nobody knew us. Now we're one of the largest fleets on the West Coast, and that's pretty darn cool, right? And so I was at this conference, and we were able to share. I was a conference chair, so which is amazing because I've been going to this conference for a while, and it's called Trucking Profitability Strategies in Athens, Georgia, and I'm proud of it because all the big truckers come together, and all the serious truckers, big, small, you know, mid-size, mostly mid-size and bigger, larger guys. But I got to meet and I got to be on stage with some of the biggest names that were like the founding fathers of this industry, really. And so we have guys like, you know, the founders of Knight, Kevin Knight, you got Rob Lowe, the founder of Prime, you know, David Parker, founder of Covenant, and I got to take a picture with them, shake their hands, got to spend a little bit of time with them after the conference as well. And I was just sitting there going, wow, I'm really here. And these guys combined are like 45,000 trucks.
Right.
You know, all their companies combined. And we're, at that point, a little 500 truck fleet, you know, on that table. But hey, that's a big deal, right? So, but like I said, to be able to do that, for me to be able to do that, for our brand to be able to be up there, it's because we built a hell of a brand. And the brand is ultimately our people and our culture and our drivers and what we do for our customers every day, but what we do for our people.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what I'm most proud of. Yeah. So.
Well, I know some of you guys are watching. Some of you guys are part of the team, so thank you. 20 years is no small feat. But if you're interested in being a part of this team, go ahead and give us a call. We can be reached at 844-424-3362. But if you like words instead, 844-4-CHEEMA. If you want to apply, got a CDL, got a year of driving experience, go to www.teamcheema.com.
Yeah.
Let's make something beautiful.
And what I always like to say, Jamie, is, you know, everybody's hiring. The freight market's starting to pick up a little bit, like we talked about earlier in the episode. But drivers, like, obviously we got a great looking fleet out there. Check it out. Talk to some of the drivers. Talk to some of our existing drivers. See what they feel like. You know, I feel like we're a great place to call home. We're a great place to come earn miles. You know, get your miles, get paid,
get home,
go home.
Yeah.
You know, simple as that. And we like to do things simply. But ultimately, we treat our people like people, and that's what makes it go around. Like we don't have to do all the gimmicks and all that stuff. Like we just keep it real at the end of the day. So that's what it's all about.
Cool.
So
to another 20.
Yes,
Congratulations.
Sir. Yes, sir.
Big
Thank
achievement. Thanks for watching. Stay safe, and we'll see you guys next time.
See ya.